Good morning again, everyone. This is Dan with Senior E-Bike Nation. Welcome back. This is segment number 2 of the video. We're finishing up our ride downtown. We got about another, I think about 4 miles to go to get to our halfway point. May ride around downtown just a little bit, so it may be a little more. As you can see over here, this is the fire training center for our city. My son used to be a firefighter, and I watched him rappel out of those buildings on his training, on his graduation fire school. Pretty cool. He got hurt on the job and had to have back surgery, so he had to give up his firefighting job, which he loved that job. He said he was going to be that since he was 6 years old. So, but I turned my company over to him, and my grandkids work for him, and so now he's owns a pest control company, doing very well. As I mentioned, I was 40 years in the industry. I thoroughly loved every day of what I did. I worked for a national company for about 23 years, and about the last 17 or 18 years I owned my own company, and it grew quite well. But it got to the point when I turned 70, it was time for me to retire. I still love my customers and doing my job and helping people solve bug control problems, pest control issues, rodents. But it got to a point where I knew it was time to retire, and I had not a clue that this is something that I would wind up doing for retirement. I had just seen a bike on Facebook Marketplace. It was an e-bike. I was my yo-yo rider, and I picked that bike up for $750, and I haven't looked back yet. Now I own 5 e-bikes and 2 more coming. So this is pretty much what I do now, is ride e-bikes, review e-bikes, do e-bike videos on repairs and assembly of bikes and a lot of things about them. I do videos on battery care, especially with the recent fire they had up in New York, where they had a bike shop where the bikes or the batteries, one of the two, caught fire, and there was apartments above the apartment building, and it wound up killing 4 people. So I did some videos on how to protect your batteries from catching fire or exploding. I mean, you know, it's a quirk thing, it can happen. But I did a video on some battery bags, and I forgot to link them to everything I did before. That's one thing I did forget. I need to put that link down there of those battery bags that I bought. They're not fireproof, but they're pretty fire resistant. So if that thing catches fire, it's going to stay inside this little case. So I'll link that stuff to the video. We're getting ready to follow the river now, down along the bike trail here. Got a couple people fishing down here. We've still got a lot of the smog from those fires up in Canada. Well, I'll tell you, it's been blanking in a lot of the U.S. where everything looks very hazy. So they got an air alert out again today. We got a nice little breeze, so that helps. River's definitely down. springtime and other parts of the summer, if you get heavy rains, you're not going to get too far down this trail, and the river will overtake it. But this time of year, it's not too hard to come down through here because river stays pretty low throughout the summer months. Springtime obviously is the time it gets trail gets covered quite a bit. There's a lot of geese down here too. You see their remains all over the bike trail. But if we get down here a little farther, we'll start seeing those. And they're pretty protective of their nests. You don't want to get too close to them things. Sometimes I gotta wait for them to get off the trail because they just don't want to get off the trail either. So I honk at them and yell at them and slowly go forward, and they finally get it. Yeah, you can see a little part of downtown there. It's pretty hazy out, so you don't get a real good picture of it today. One thing I have noticed, they have not had the river fountains on like they usually do this time of year. They put some fountains pretty close downtown over the river where there's 4 different areas that shoots extremely high in the air out of these water jets. And it's a nice view of the city. There again, it's some of the stuff they build down here doesn't make sense to me. When I'm trying to help feed people down here and people that need food, that they won't even get back with me and talk about where I could put a box to help feed the poor, people in need. I don't call them poor, let's just say people that are hungry. Here we go, there we got the geese on the trail here. As you can see, they're not in any hurry to leave either. But I slowed down for them. Not sure what that building is they're building over there. It's an odd looking thing, that's for sure. They got this section of the building that is jetting out over the river. I'm not sure what that is. But it is kind of cool looking, whatever it's going to be. Right up here is where we turn up to get up to the Riverscape. You can go bike trails, different directions up here that you can go. Got a blue heron over there sitting waiting for a fish he can nab. So we'll be turning left right up here. Go up this little hill. It's kind of a sharp angle, but they made it that for a reason. So I normally just pedal and throttle up the hill here. Got a lot of apartments over here. A lot of the younger professionals live down here. I'd imagine he's probably run $1,500 to $1,800 a month, if not more. But this is an area they call Riverscape. little better view of downtown, as you can see there. This is where they hold a lot of events downtown. A lot of food trucks come down here during different events that they have. They got a little area down here. They usually got water in these little fountain areas here, and they got them going again. You got to see the bubbling coming up from them. The geese like to hang out down here a lot too. And they got a little area here where the kids come down here, and got these little water jets come up, and kids get cooled off when it gets really hot in the summertime, so that's pretty cool. And that area there you can see is for kayaking. That's a man-made wall they made down there for kayakers and stuff. So you can see the wall over there. It's showing the bikers and people walking and the ducks and things like that. This is where I'll drop a couple food items off on one of these benches, and hopefully somebody can make use out of it. Of course, I bring ramen noodles and some other things down here, so. But yeah, it's a beautiful place to hang out down here. This is really where I wanted to put a food pantry box somewhere close down here, but they won't allow me to do it, or shall I say they won't get back with me. So and that's kind of sad that they won't allow that to happen down here. But anyway, let me get off my bike here and we'll talk a little bit about the bike. I'm gonna put a couple food items out here as well while I'm here. Alrighty, I'm gonna get a couple things out here for the food pantry. Well, we're gonna call this a chair food pantry, whatever you want to call it, or a bench where we're gonna drop the stuff off here. Again, I'm gonna put out a couple things of ramen noodles, and we're gonna put out candy green beans. Somebody will make use of that for sure. I know they don't like me dropping this stuff off, but I really don't care. But anyway, let's talk about this beautiful bike. This is the Zoda Zephyr, as I mentioned. It is a 20-inch by 4-inch fat tire bike. And it's got a 750 rear hub motor. I think it's really 1,000. It's a pretty powerful bike. And then it's also got a, I believe this is a 52 volt 17 amp hour battery. I get my batteries confused sometimes, but I've got a link in the description box what this bike has got. And also it's got, it's a folding bike, as I mentioned here, which is really nice if you're going to move this thing and store it, or move it around to go to where you want to ride. And it has got front suspension on it. Does not have rear, but it's got front. But I find this bike to be very comfortable, actually. But it does have the front suspension here that's got a lockout on it and adjustment, so you can dirt ride or off-road stuff, whatever you want to do. It's got hydraulic, Tektro hydraulic disc brakes. and it's got a 160 millimeter rotor down here, I believe that is. And this bike, as you can see, the front tire will come off very easily. So if you need to store this thing or travel with it, that's how you do that. Just take that front tire off and you'll take off a lot of the length of the bike for sure. And it has also got a color display here, and the pedal assist levels go from 1 to 9, as you can see. And it'll top out, like I mentioned, almost 34 mile an hour, which is pretty fast. And it's got a Shimano shifter here, 7-speed. I normally stay in 7th gear. I technically don't move that a whole lot. It's got a thumb twist throttle here, and you can see the horn's pretty loud. And it's got a decent headlight on it. And then it's also got the folding stem here, and it's got also some pivot mounting points for a basket if you want to put it on here. But I think that wire management would kind of get in the way. You'd have to move that over to do that. And again, it is an extremely fun bike to ride. Again, my hat's off to Zoda Zephyr, and I want to thank Zoda for sending this e-bike to me to review. I told him I would do at least 25 reviews. I'm well over that on this bike now. So yeah, it's a beautiful bike. But a couple of the accessories that I did purchase for this bike, I purchased this little bar. I put this on all my bikes, so it gives it a lot of room for accessory points that you want to put on, like mirrors that I've got attached to this. And then I've got this very bright light here. And let me show you how bright this thing, I think it's about 1600 lumens, but as you can see, it's extremely bright. So yeah, I'll put that all down in the description box as well. And it's got I bought a couple cup holders for it, as you can see here. I can mount my phone down in here, and I keep my coffee up here. Now I've also got a rear view camera on this one as well. This is when I'm mainly road riding, which if I'm gonna get out on these city streets, I'll have that camera on, so where I can see things behind me coming up. So that's pretty cool. Other than that, I did change the seat out on this. I'll have the seat down in the description box. And the bike did come with a bike rack. And it's got Kenda tires. I'm sorry, not Kenda. Yeah, they're Kendas. They are Kenda Crusade. These are the 20-inch by 4-inch fat tires on this bike. And again, it's got a Shimano Altus derailleur. And the battery itself actually sits behind the down tube here. The only thing I don't like about this bike, you have to take the seat completely off to get this battery out. So that's the only thing that I see that I don't like a whole lot about it. Other than that, I took the cheap plastic pedals I think it had on it, and then I put these orange pedals on the bike to kind of match the color of it and everything. But yeah, if you guys got any questions, put it down in the comment section. I'll see if I can answer those. But again, it's a very, very fun bike, and this is the Zoda Zephyr. So share and like the video, and hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys on the next video.